everybody, this is Chad Perkins from moviesandcomputers.com in part 3 in our 4-part series on using Adobe Story. Now, we've looked at how to do writing in Adobe Story, but what I want to show you here is what to do after the writing is done. Some would say that's when the real work begins. Now, in the scripts area here, I have this tester document we created in the last movie. I don't want that anymore, so I'm going to select it and then go over here to the delete button on the right-hand side, and it's gone. Now, if I need to, I can go to the deleted area here and I could go and retrieve it. So it's not the end of the world if you delete something on accident. Now, let's say I want to share this screenplay with other people. That's one of the big parts of pre-production when you're getting other people's feedback. You might send it to a producer or a co-author or people in a writer's group that you're in or whatever. So what I could do is click on this little arrow here next to the script and I'm going to click on Share. We do that, we can type in somebody's email address and we could give them different permissions. So if somebody's a co-author, that gives them the ability to make changes, to delete stuff, to do any of that type of stuff. They basically have the same powers that you do. If you give somebody reviewer status, then they cannot delete material, but they can add comments. Now, if you give somebody just a reader status, that says they cannot, they could only read it and they could not add comments, and they can't even read the comments that are there. They can only read what you've written. So once you put in somebody's email address and give them their status, you can check send email notification, then click OK, and Adobe Story will automatically send them an invitation, give them instructions on how to set up an account and how to get into the file and check it out and all that kind of stuff. And permission at the time of this recording is only on a per document basis. So even if I say I have these projects with Josh, Steven, Heather, whoever, I cannot give Heather permission for an entire project to see all the character bios and scripts. I have to go in with each document individually and give her permission there. So just be aware of that. So it is very secure and they're kind of erring on the side of security. So don't worry about somebody else being able to see anything else you don't want them to see that you have not specifically shared with them. Now I'm going to double click this screenplay to get into the authoring view. And you'll see that no matter where the cursor is, there's a little talk bubble here on the right-hand side. So no matter where we go, that's going to follow us. And basically what that's saying is that if we click that, we'll be able to add a comment. When we go back to our projects view, we can see the number of comments here on the right-hand side. Likewise, if I click the authoring button, get back to the authoring view, our document's still open here, I can go to review, start tracking changes. And that will allow me to see the changes that I've made. So I basically locked it. It's got a first draft. And then anything else that I'm fiddling with will show up as additional changes. Now, I mentioned this outline on the left-hand side before. And what this does is very intelligently looks at the scene headings. And every time I have a scene heading, and it's formatted for a scene heading, then it automatically makes a new scene for me on the left-hand side. Now, there's also these little squares here. These represent the most commonly used characters, the characters that are most frequent. Now, the screenplay that we're looking at is from a short film I made called Monday the 16th. It's basically the life of Jason from Friday the 13th. After a weekend of killing and destroying, then he wakes up Monday morning with his ex-wife and his estranged children on his doorstep, and he has to babysit them all day. So he is our protagonist. So if I hang my cursor over this red square, I can see that that red square indicates Jason. And being the protagonist, it makes sense that he is in every single scene here. If I hold my cursor over the yellow squares, we see Natalie. She is a big part in the story. We see that she's not in the Jason's bathroom scene, and she's not in the piano room scene or the scene in Jason's bedroom. So at a glance, we get to see where our 6 most used characters are in what scene. Now, as far as pre-production, it gets deeper than that. I can go to the View menu, and I can have it number scenes and shots. I'm just going to go ahead and click on scene numbering. It automatically detects where those scenes are and numbers them for me, which is helpful. But check this out. I could also go to the View menu and check shot duration. So let's say I want to see the total running time. I could see the running time, and basically, for screenplays, 1 page of a screenplay equals about 1 minute of screen time. So I could basically see where this starts in the movie. This scene starts at about 1 minute and 12 seconds in. Now I could also go to View, Shot Duration, and go to Shot Duration. That tells me how long that particular scene is. So it's not a cumulative total, it's just for that scene. So this one little scene right here, scene 2, is only 10 seconds long. Now, of course, these numbers are not exact. I think the screenplay for Fellowship of the Ring was like 100 pages or something. The movie was like 20 hours long. So again, there's a lot of room for leeway there, but it does help to have a rough idea of what's going on. Now, if we go up to the production dropdown, there are more tools. One of the things that's really cool is that we can create reports, breakdown reports. So I can create a report of the scenes, a report of the locations, characters, cast, all these different types of things. So say, for example, here, I have a cast report generated from this, and it has all the different characters in the film. And again, it's a short film.